Jody Williams, welcome back to the Can-Am Connection. We are live.
Yes, sir. Welcome. I am happy. And does that make me Rick Martel or Tom Zink? What?
I think you're going to be Tom Zink.
Okay, I'll be the Z-Man, WCW style. So, yes, everybody, welcome to the show. And first things first. Wait, whoa, we're on we're different now, aren't we?
We're a little different.
Yes, I like this format better. But people can still like to subscribe to your channel, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We are definitely. We're streaming live on YouTube, but we are using a different software package. We tested it out last week, actually, but it's going good. We got people in the chat already. We can see it. We're live. We are fueled by Supplement King.
Okay, there we go. Billy Berg, as always. Preacher Arm Wrestling, as always. Yes, let's go. I'm fired up.
Next level.
Do I look big?
Lots of stuff coming up.
Do I look big? Yes, no?
Massive.
All right. Cool.
Way too big.
You want to start Louisiana State first? Or you want to start Arizona State first?
Let's see, man. It's up to you. I got my notes here. Let's whichever one you want. Maybe Louisiana.
Yeah, I'm going to hold off on Arizona because there's some matches there that I really, or there's one particular match I'm interested in, but I also got it's where when you make a prediction, you got to take the emotional connection out of it. So let's go Louisiana State first.
All right, let's do that. Now, is it just me or is it hard to find information on these events? Like as far as how to watch, that kind of thing.
Not for Arizona State.
Not for Arizona State, it's not, because that's on Alex's channel, correct?
Well, it's on Alex's, but prior to that, though, Tim Thomas, the guy spearheading this event, he was putting everything out there. Hey, you can watch it here. I know the tournament itself was on his channel, On Sports Entertainment. But then, matter of fact, why I'm so excited about that, because I'll be there in person doing play-by-play with Don Underwood. So I'm all in the loop with that.
Excellent. So we got that one. Louisiana, though, I'm having trouble figuring out where I'm supposed to watch these matches.
Yeah, that's where, whoever's in charge is, I don't know if it's Paul Italia, whoever's in charge as far as, hey, broadcasting this thing. I'm not sure what they're doing. I mean, you'll see the poster or you'll see glimpses of, hey, this match, this person's pulling this person, which is fine, but tell us where people want to watch that, because.
And we got these posters. We got these posters with these people on them. They don't have any information. So we figured out if it's right or left arm, but some of those are best of 5. Some of them are 6 rounders with a silver bullet. Some of them are, we don't even know. And there was one actually, the last teaser that happened said, how about we have Krazzamir pull the number 4 left-handed guy in North America? Well, that's Dave Chafee. So
been there, done that.
They put that out there as a teaser, but they never made an announcement because Krazzamir, of course, as we know, is pulling Corey West right-handed, and they're suggesting that maybe they're going to have a Chafee match with the left arm with Krazzamir. Now that never happened. Like, we haven't seen an announcement, and it's days away.
Well, and that's the thing. I don't think Dave is interested in doing that. That's my personal opinion. And, that's not Dave's dominant arm. I think his mind frame is like, hey, I want to pull my right arm. That's what I train with. I'm going to go ahead and do that, because let's be honest, as far as right hand goes, we kind of been there, done that at UAWL for next, I believe.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll forget about that one for a while. Wait a minute. We got Doug Allen pulling Krazzamir left, as Carl Stanley is in the chat telling us that.
Yeah.
So that's a good match. I'm having a lot of trouble figuring this shit out, though, because I'm sifting through all these posts, and they still have Mike Aiello versus Corey West sitting there on one of the little advertisement things. So right. The matches we know we have. Let's talk about those. And which one do you want to start with?
Well, before we get into it, we got to, give some love to our people in the chat. Dan Woodley, David Marr, EC, what's up? Benjamin McCabe, my girl Candy Passmore, Carl Stanley, Macho Man Arm Wrestling, Carolyn Looms. They are all in the chat. Everyone, boys and girls, welcome to the show. Let's get to it. Austin McGraw, Jordan Seal.
That's the one I have too. So it's a right hand best of 5. I was able to figure that much out.
Well, Jordan Seal is one of those guys where he's not afraid to put his name on the line. Like, it almost seems like he has a super match every 2 months. That's what it seems like. You know, whether it be Brendan Elsesser or whether it be, you know, whoever, he's always on the marquee. There's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, he has a lot of miles on there. That's not saying that, you know, I'm not saying that in a bad way. I just think that, you know, it's going to be a very, very challenging match for Austin. I don't know too much about him, but I know a lot firsthand about Jordan Seal. And when he's on his game, he's dangerous.
I do not know who Austin is. Guilty. Don't know who he is. And I know that Jordan sometimes looks completely unstoppable, and other times he looks very beatable. Now, the one thing I can guarantee you is that Dan Woodley's prediction is not correct. He says Jordan Seal 4-1. Well, it's the best of 5, so he only has to win 3.
Can I use you for an example?
Absolutely.
Because I'm going to use Jordan Seal and you as an example. When you went to Arm Wars, right, and you pulled Krazzamir, right?
Yeah.
Tell the viewers out there what effect it has when you pull 2 super matches, both hands on the same day, whether it be the same opponent or not. Tell everybody the effects of that.
It is extremely difficult because you have, and the good part is, you know, we pulled both arms, so it's fair. But if you're pulling 2 super matches on the same day and you're switching arms, you have to go through that entire buildup of the match twice. It's very hard to do. And once the adrenaline has left your system for the first one, it is so difficult to get hyped up for another match. And if the guy you're pulling hadn't had a super match earlier in the day. So, for example, we have Corey West pulling 2 matches. Let's say he pulls Krazzamir right-handed. That match is over and done with. No matter what the outcome, he is not going to be as high of a level when he goes to pull Carl Stanley on the left arm. He's just not.
Right.
So whichever match happens first, I mean, that could be good strategy for whoever he has on the other, one of those guys wanting to go second for sure. Now I hear Krazmir's got 2 matches, so that really doesn't matter. I don't think Carl Stanley's pulling a right-handed match.
No.
So it knocks the shit out of you, Jody. It's a very tough thing to do. It's just like trying to pull a tournament after pulling a super match. It's not easy, and it's not the same.
I agree. I've done that before in the past. And the tournament on top of that. And I'm telling you what, I was not physically ready for the tournament. Because, you know, and ladies in the chat, you know, Candy, Carolyn Looms, excuse my language, but I blew my load on the super matches where come tournament time, I was not where I need to be strength-wise, if that makes sense.
Of course it makes sense. It's funny because whenever I hear someone use that terminology, there was a UFC that was on television where Randy Couture was the commentator, and he says, it looks like he shot his wad in the first round. I was like, this is live TV.
But we're rated our show. But, you know, and like I said, no disrespect to the ladies in there, but, you know, guys understand what we're talking about. You put so much effort into that super match. Macho Man Arm Wrestling knows exactly what I'm talking about. He went to Winter Blast. He pulled David Hobbs both hands. So by the time the tournament came around, he was fucking shot. So, you know, there is something to be said about that. Now, I think with these guys, I don't foresee these gentlemen pulling the actual tournament itself.
I agree with you, especially a lot of them pulling both matches. Now, I'll give you a little insight, but I want to just give a little bit of shout outs to the chat here. Carolyn, why people crying about WAF rules, just keep your elbow in the pad. I agree with you. We'll talk about that more another day, I'm sure, because that's a subject that's not going away. Clifton, thanks, buddy. Billy Berg with a $5 super chat says, keep up the great work, guys. However, Dan Woodley, though we should visit this one at the end, says is best of 5 a good format for super matches. So that's a good discussion to have, maybe at the end of us talking about the matches.
Good, because I
And
have a theory
Carlos
about
Stanley says Krazzy pulls Corey in the main event. Me and Corey are 4th match out of 6. So Carl, you're going to get the full version of Corey West. So that's whether you want that or not, I don't know. Probably do, I'm thinking. So that's going to be a really good test for both of you.
Yeah, well, you tell me, Ryan, when you pulled, there's a difference when what you did in Vegas. You pulled the super match with Michael Todd left, but pulled the tournament right. So there's a difference in how you strategize. I also think that we're at a point now where if these guys are on the main event status, unless they just love to compete, then they're not going to pull the tournament. We'll take Corey West, for example. I was there when he busted his bicep against Dave Chafee, left hand, in match 1, and yet he came back, arm shot as hell, and still was able to beat Wayne Withers 3-0. He had no intention of pulling a tournament, so I think, a lot of it for some of these guys are like, oh, you know what? And even the ladies speaking about blowing loads, the ladies, Candy said women do it too. But I think that you got to go, if I'm going down here and I'm going to be on the marquee matchup, if I'm going to be, doing that, I'm not going to pull the tournament. Example, I was at Washington State last year. Well, who was my match against? Jeff Frank. I did not pull the tournament. I just pulled my match with Jeff. I knew that it was something I wanted to do. I knew that I personally wanted to win that match. Therefore, I had to go do that and not pull the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to do both. I was asked if I'm pulling Corey West left-handed. Yes, I am, but May 21st, Alex. May 21st.
That's a big day too, obviously too.
Yeah. So anyway, we talked about Jordan. I'll say Jordan still wins that match. Probably, I'm going to say 3-0.
I'm going to say, I got my pen here. I'm going to say Seal wins 3-1.
Okay, so we're going to write these down.
Yeah. Now keep in mind, because I'll be in Arizona that day, I will know nothing. I will not watch that match or anything like that. I'll be so busy doing what I need to do. Whoa.
Jesus Christ.
Was that a $99 super chat?
$99.99, Clifton Erickson. I need to make it up there to train for a week or 2 with you. Keep it up, man. Thanks, man. That's the biggest super chat we've ever got.
Wow. My man. Clifton, you're a lifesaver. Wow. I don't even know what to say. Send that guy a shirt.
Yeah. We'll have to. Wow. That's awesome. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. I don't know how to respond to that. I'm like, wow,
Whew. That's a good one.
Yes. Who else we got? We got Doug Allen and Krazzamir. Now, is that still making? We got so many mismatch. I don't even know what's real anymore. Is that still on? That Doug Allen and Krazzamir, or no?
Well, somebody in the chat said it was, so let's predict it. I'm going to say Krazzamir in straight matches, whatever it is, best of 5, best of 7.
And here's the thing. Yes, I agree with you that I'm gonna straight set. I don't know, and I don't know if these guys are these on staking by any chance. Any of these matches on staking? Do we know?
I will check while we are talking here.
Because for me, it's like a lot of that will play in a factor of how these outcomes will go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
well, they haven't updated this site in a while. So Krazzamir right-handed with Corey is on there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only one. That's the only one in all these matches that is on Stake Kings. So
okay, and not every match needs to be on Stake Kings, by the way.
Yeah.
I think it screws with people's mantra. Honestly, we talked about that before. So
yeah, that's the only one, and they haven't updated the site in a while because Michael Todd and I are still on there, and so is Matt and Tim.
Wow. Come on, people. Who's in charge of this?
Yeah. So, Krazzamir straight. You want to talk about Brita versus Sil left-handed?
Yeah, this is where I think Jordan like you said earlier in the show, there's times where Jordan looks like he's the most unstoppable person out there. And to what Cody Merritt said, there's times where Cody wants to punch him in the head because like going, what the hell are you thinking? This may be a situation where, it goes back. Is it smart to pull two super matches on the same day, with either hand? You're going to get the best of Jonathan Brita. He is a left-hand specialist. I love left-handed pullers, as you do. So would I be biased for me to pull for Brita? Maybe, but you're going to get the best of Jonathan Brita left hand. He's going to give you everything. And, he was coming off Arm Wars. He went to Arm Wars Iron Hearts, I do believe. I don't know, how he did because everything's a hush-hush, and I get it. But I will say this, though. I think Brita's going to take this one.
Me too. And because it's a 6-rounder, I think it's going to be 4-2.
Yes, I agree with that. 4-2, because I'm like, man, that I'm telling you, it's different if I might think that match might be a little closer if Jordan was not pulling Austin.
Yeah, I would say so. I'd still pick Brita to win.
Yeah, but I think it'd be a lot closer. There's mental psyche, think of Corey. Doesn't Corey have 2 matches? And we're going to get to him. He has 2 matches that day, right?
Yeah, and this will be a factor. The first one, of course, is his left arm match.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, because I know firsthand you, my friend, my co-host, have valid interest in this match.
I do. I'm going to be watching very closely to see what Corey does with the left hand. Now, until I am shown differently, Carl Stanley, I need to assume that Corey is going to be at his best left-handed. So, no offense to you, sir, but I also have to assume that Corey is going to win this match.
Can I give Carl's in the chat, right? Can I give Carl some advice? Carl, love you, my man. I really do. I appreciate you and stuff. My advice to you is that do not go into this match with one game plan. And I'm saying that, because as a valid, I'm not going to say I'm an arm wrestling historian by any means, but I will say this, though. We all know your bread and butter. If someone prepares for that and you don't have a backup move, it's not going to look good for you. Why? What just happened in Las Vegas? We all know left-handed, Michael Todd's probably the most dominant shoulder press people out there left-handed. Well, we all know what's coming because Michael doesn't pull anything but a shoulder press in that move on that hand. Therefore, my co-host, Mr. Ryan Espy, knew that going into that. So Ryan put himself in the position where he can defeat that. And once he defeats that, then what? So, to you, if for some reason we know you like to flop, it's one of the most lethal flops presses on the left-hand side that we all know of. Corey knows that also. So if by chance you have a backup plan, use it. If you don't, man, I just don't see what's going on with that. That's just my honest opinion. Nothing personal. I just don't want you going in there with one move and one move only. That's all I'm saying.
Now, you're in a good position, Carl, because if nobody thinks, or if the majority of people don't think you're going to win, that's a very comfortable spot to be in. And you have a mission in front of you to prove everyone wrong. And I'm happy to say that I'm wrong on this one when the time comes. I think you're in a good spot and the world is there for you. So, I mean, you take Corey West, all of a sudden, I don't know what happens next month. It could be have a different look to it.
I will go a step further. And what I mean by that is the fact that everyone's talking about Krazzamir and Corey, right? That's the focal point. That's the stake. No one's talking about anything but that match. This is the prime opportunity for Carl to walk in there and just say, you know what? Okay. Corey's mind's going to be on Krazzy right-handed. Hell, fuck with his psyche. fuck with him, because I'm telling you right now, Ryan Espy will be watching that match. He'll be taking notes. So you know for a fact Ryan Espy is pulling for you, Carl. You know he is. Because we want to see, can you put Corey in a situation where, like, Corey, like, oh, shit, I don't know if I can oh, shit. Ryan's like, yes, do it. That's what Ryan's going to be doing Saturday. He's going to be fucking doing this shit. Carl's like, I got you. This is your time to shine. But I don't want you to go in there with just one move. I want you to prove the whole world wrong. We want you to. Trust me when I say that. We want you to. And again, people, in the chat, any prediction Ryan and I make, we have to take our emotions out of it. We have to take our friendships out of it. These are not personal attacks. These are just something that we see, because some people get real, not saying you guys, but there are other people in the past I've made predictions about, and they got all butthurt, and I don't want that happening, okay?
So we got another super chat, $22.22. Hydro and gas rebate due to the Manitoba storm. Stay strong and be helpful. Remember your twos this year, everyone. Somebody will thank you.
Did we make a prediction on that match, or were we just talking about it?
We didn't make an official prediction. I don't know what it's out of, but I'm going to pick Corey. I picked Corey to win. I don't know what the final count's going to be.
I'm an underdog guy. I am the underdog. You see this U right here? U stands for underdog. I'm the underdog guy. So guess who I'm going for?
You're going for Carl.
Yes, I am. Look, man, I mean, you got to go for the lefty, right? Got to go for the lefty, right? I'm a left-handed guy. I'm right-handed by nature, but I pull with this hand the best. Going with the lefty.
Yeah, preacher arm wrestle. Have you actually seen Corey arm wrestle left hand recently in a super match? I don't know. Dave Chafee, I guess, would be the last one.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Todd Zill was right-handed. Maybe. I know he pulled Cody Merritt in a super match a couple years ago, and Cody won that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Billy Berg says he can't wait to pull me. Oh. Had a good showing down there in Vegas, Billy, my friend. Good job.
So we had a question here, and it's one that we should answer quickly because it was a good question. I like this. It says, Stack says, Ryan, you pulled both Chafee and Richard Lupke's, both known for their strength. Who was stronger? They're strong in very, very different ways. Richard has like straight driving to the pin side pressure strength. And Dave Chafee is pretty much everywhere else. But man, I would have to say that at their all-time strongest when I pulled them, it's Lupke's. Yeah.
And so Carl Stanley just said Corey's last left-handed match was Dave. And yes, I was there for that one. Didn't turn out well. So there you go.
He's coming off of an injury then. So this will be interesting.
Yes.
All right. The main event.
Whoa. We have a ladies match.
Oh, the ladies match. Oh, pardon me, ladies. You tell me about that one. I saw the names.
We got Deb Banyan, world known Northeastern puller. She's pulling Bethany Ritchie, who is the girlfriend. No, she just got engaged to Doug Allen, who was on the card pulling Krazzamir. So Bethany Ritchie, and I'm telling you, she's been putting in the work. Like, I follow her on Instagram, not to be a weirdo, but I follow her on Instagram, and I see her putting in some serious work. However, she's going against a legend in the sport, in the ladies arm wrestling here in the States. Like, Deb Banyan is like, you know who Deb Banyan is, right?
Yeah. And I will obviously for that reason pick her to win.
Right.
Simply for lack of knowledge on her competitor.
I think Bethany will surprise her round one, and then Deb will go, okay, it's time to use my experience to my advantage, reshuffle everything, and then use that experience to her advantage.
Okay. So you're going with the same prediction as me?
Yes.
Now, are we missing anyone else before we talk about the main event?
No, let's get to it.
Other than, let's say, Louisiana State's promoters. get your shit together and tell everyone how they can watch this. Because right now, I don't know.
Top Bertrand, where you at, man? Let everybody know.
Yeah. Krazzamir versus Corey West, right-handed.
Would it be disrespectful if I said Corey wins in straight sets?
Not at all.
Because I think, here's the thing. Corey has this chip on his shoulder. Like, I got this Dorito chip right here, and it's on his shoulder, right? Ever since that Derek Smith went over Tim Bresnan, and Derek got leapfrogged over him and some few others in the hook rankings, North American rankings. And Corey was sour about that. Corey and I talked about that. Hey, I think he should pull you, work your way up the ladder. And, I think a lot of people took that the wrong way, and they need to realize that this was nothing Derek did. So now all of a sudden Corey's pissed off, and we've been talking about the same three up-and-coming super heavyweights for the last year and a half now. Chance Shaw, Corey West, Derek Smith, right? So this is one of these matches where, okay, don't worry about Derek Smith now, Corey. You got Krazzamir. You beat him. Now in the world rankings, guess what? You're going to catapult up. I think this is the match he needs to make sure that he solidifies himself as, hey, I'm here, bring him on. This is the match for Corey. And if Carl beats Corey on the left, I don't think Corey will even care, because I know his brain is going to be on, hey, I need this win. I need this win. I need it. I say in straight sets, Corey wins.
Now, I agree with just about everything you said. Corey's coming in with a chip on his shoulder. He definitely wants this win. He needs this win to keep up the momentum that the other two have. I know Chance lost, but I think that we all know that he looked so impressive against Todd Hutchings that he kind of gained a step even in losing that match. Of course, Derek Smith is coming off of a big win over Tim. And then Tim, a very short time later, goes in and beats Matt, which raises Derek's stock even more.
Yeah.
However, I just think that Corey is going to sink into a spot with Krazzamir where Krazzamir is just too strong. And I'm going to say the opposite. I'm going to say that on the right hand, Krazzamir will win this match.
Ooh. And that's the 6-rounder one, correct?
The only one I saw that was for sure a 6-rounder was Brita and Sill.
Okay.
Now, I'm not going to put any money on this because I'm so unsure of it. But I will go with the veteran finding a way to win.
There you go. I think, and this is why I like, when you have two people talking about arm wrestling, they got two different opinions. It's not that, it's just opinion, folks. So you're saying that Krazzy experience is going to put himself in a situation where he's battle tested. Let's not take anything away from Krazzy. He's battle tested. That speaks for some. I just think, in my opinion, I could be wrong, but I think this is where Corey's like, if you want this is your chance.
Yeah.
Because if he gets this, all that's going to do is open more doors for him. Look at Derek Smith. You beat Bresnan, voila. Now you got a match with Dave Chafee, And Chance Shaw, he's got doors open and he hasn't beaten anybody yet. So it's like, okay, But for Corey right here, this is going to open some doors for him. There you go.
Yeah.
Get it done, buddy. Get it done.
Yeah. Carolyn Loom says, Ryan, you're a great corner man for Matt. Thank you, Carolyn. That's so strong against Michael Todd. Michael Todd seemed to be whining the whole super match. I think he was just playing it up to the crowd. I think after him, the first couple matches, he knew there was not a ton he could do, and he was trying to get that one win on fouls to win the staking. But the shutout stake was inevitable.
And again, that staking thing is just, oh my Lord, it just puts too many variables. That's why I don't bet. No, I don't. No.
Yeah, and there's a lot of weird stuff that goes on. Like sometimes a strategy in arm wrestling is getting a position and bleeding out your opponent, even if it means losing the first match. And so the staking can be weird. If it's a shutout stake, I mean, that can really throw the whole thing off.
Well, funny you should mention that because Preacher Arm Wrestling said, hey, he thinks that Krazzy's going to bleed out Corey. And I will say that because Corey's not known for his stamina per se. So if Krazzy decides to bleed him out in the first round, that I don't know. But Corey say he's like lost some weight because he felt better because he want to feel like he want to feel tired.
I'll tell you something about just go watch the Krazzamir Alex Kurdecha match if you think that they could very well look like that.
Yeah.
It could be Krazzamir getting in a position, maybe losing the first couple and coming back in the end.
Yeah. I think that's what Preacher Arm Wrestling is trying to say. Hey, and like you said, I'll sacrifice the first couple as long as I can win the next 3 straight.
Yeah.
So, all right, sir.
Moving on.
Arizona State. And I'm telling you right now, I'm so excited. Oh, my God. I get to leave Friday morning down to Tucson. I get to be on the red carpet. I get to sit there and do play-by-play with Hollywood Don Underwood himself. Man, this card is so exciting, and I'm glad I'm going to be a part of it. So how about we do this? Let's get right into it. Artem Taranenko, Coach Ray. Wow.
Yeah, for me, easy prediction. Easy prediction. Artem wins this one.
Before we go further, it's funny because Candy Passmore, whose husband has a match on this date, she said she just noticed Ryan's name as the Gorilla Hunter. And I think that's in reference to next month's May 21st match, yes?
That sure is.
There you go. There you go, Candy. Artem's looking real thick, real strong, okay? Super strong. Like, did you see that? I don't know if you saw that post last week. It was a side-by-side shot of Artem, what he looked like last year and what he looks like now.
Yes, it's a different guy.
Yeah.
And you know the old saying, those that can't play, coach. So, Coach Ray, choose what you want to do. I think that's going to be a one-sided event, one-sided match. But you never know. Coach Ray has pulled out wins in the past, especially coming from a deficit. So we'll see.
Well, Coach Ray did that in a King of the Table 1. Was down 2-0, 3-0, and came back and won, the silver bullet, I believe. But my fear, because Coach Ray likes to get in here and drive that shoulder. Well, if you're in this position, Coach Ray, Artem's going to be dumped wrist and everything. He has the tendency to kind of just blast right through that. That can open you up like this. Yeah. And that would be a fear if people are going to be voting for Coach Ray. But I think the knowledge and Latvia, good Lord, they know their stuff.
So you see this list, you got this poster that was on there with all these matches listed, but it didn't have any details. Mm-hmm. So do we know if this is right-handed or left-handed?
I'm going to say left hand because I think Coach Ray is more dominant left hand, as Artem is also.
Yeah.
I'm gonna predict that. I just think some way, somehow, and like I said, Latvia knows their stuff. Artem's gonna dig deep and pull something a rabbit out of his hat.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Which one do you want to talk about next?
Well, my partner in crime for that day, Don Underwood and Wayne Withers.
Now, do you think that it will impact Don Underwood to be commentating and have a match?
Well, you saw what happened at the Michael Todd Monster pay-per-view, right?
I did.
He was commentating, then he had to stop and then go pull his match. Don's comeback, it's almost like he has a second career now. Took some time off. He's back now. This is his second go around. I always like when people take long breaks in between their arm wrestling careers, I like to say it's a second career. And everyone is still waiting on, okay, we're waiting for Don. We're waiting. Whether it be Corey West or whether that fatal four-way last year involving Aiello, Chance Shaw, and Jordan Steele, we're still waiting. You know, we're still waiting for it, and I'm still waiting for Don to come out of his shell. But people need to realize the old Underwood Hollywood version of the past is not this version now. And I think the sooner people realize that, the better. But I'm always going to be pulling for Don. I'm always going to be pulling. I love that guy. I think, he's trying something new. I talked to him, in private, and him and I discussed, some strategy techniques and stuff. He's going to come out with something different. I will not say on the air what those are, but he's going to come out with a different strategy. And he's been working on some things now. And I like what I heard from him. I did. So Wayne, super long arm, long lever, solid wrist and hand. I think Don has enough side pressure and power to bust through that. But anybody with a long lever, you got to grip low. If you try to match that, it's not going to work out for you.
That's a bold statement, Jody, saying he's going to bust through that. I mean, I've seen some pretty incredible things with Wayne as far as hand and wrist strength goes. And I completely disagree with you. I think Wayne will control him with this hand fairly easily and win that match. I think Wayne is going to be way too strong and way too tall. I don't think he's going to be able to get he'll never top roll him.
No.
And I'm not sure he'll get a hook. That's his one chance, though.
First of all, his chance is to keep his elbow on the pad, first and foremost.
Yes.
And the reason why I'm holding out for Don with the victory, I look back and go, okay, Corey may be an inch or two taller than Don, but same like girth, so to speak. Corey doesn't have a long lever like Wayne does. You watch how he won through Wayne Withers 3-0 with a fucked up left arm, by the way.
Yeah.
Went right through him. Now, does Don have the power that Corey has? No. But I think he has the capability to doing that. Neutralize him by grabbing just a little bit lower, right? A little bit lower, not so much up high. Grab him a little lower because it doesn't make sense. It's a math problem. If somebody has a longer arm than you and stronger hand and stuff, you try to top roll with them when they're a top roller, that doesn't do you any good. You got to get a little bit lower and bang in that side pressure, get that shoulder involved. And I think, Don can probably come out and do that. I'm not saying it's a sweep. I'm just saying Don can probably do that.
Most likely. We'll see. I think Wayne will stop him. I think it's going to look, somebody in the chat said it'll look a lot like the BJ match. I think that's probably accurate. Don might win the first one, maybe the first two, but I see Wayne holding on and winning.
If he can make the adjustment, cool,
Yeah.
The next match, this is where I have to take my emotions out, and I gotta be very careful how I think about this. And I have a very, very valid interest in this match also. When you have Paul Passmore and Robbie Tope, and these guys are pulling left-handed, right? For obvious reasons, I have a valid invested in this match because I will be pulling Robbie Tope in June. And for me, it's like when you're good friends with someone and their families, it's real hard to pick a winner. I'm good friends with Robbie Tope and his family. I'm good friends with Paul Passmore and his family. And these sometimes are matches that are made that you just don't want to happen, but they have to happen. Have you ever dealt with that before, Ryan?
Oh, of course. All the time.
A very hard time picking a winner. Well, I am.
You also got to remember, this is not, well, it is sort of a combat sport. They're not getting in there with boxing gloves on. So we can still predict, but you can sit this one out if you want. I will be happy to give you my prediction on this one.
It's so. How about this? From a strategic portion of this, I'm going to go with Paul Passmore.
Okay. Well, I also am going to go with Paul Passmore. Now I'm using some weird mathematical formulations that, here's how he looked like with Michael. I know what Michael felt like. I know what Robbie has felt like in the past. Based on all these things that I'm kind of observing and experiencing, I think Robbie isn't quite where he needs to be to beat these guys that are upper echelon left-handed arm wrestlers in North America. I believe he can get back there fairly easily. I just don't think he's there at the moment. And I think Passmore is probably been training this whole time and ready to go for this match. I think he's probably going to win. And his style also has a way of tiring guys out a little bit because he'll put himself in bad positions. We know that for sure.
Yeah.
And I think Paul probably wins this one.
Like I said, God, and watch, the minute we're off this show, I'm gonna get a call from his wife. What the fuck? So here's the deal. The reason why I say that, from a strategic standpoint, Paul's not gonna pull like Michael at all. He's not gonna go shoulder press quick. He's not, that's not the kind of style puller he is. It's the yin and yang, so to speak. You got a guy who likes to go inside against a guy who likes to go outside, but Paul's versatile. And that's another reason why I'm leaning toward Paul. He can pull in the hook. He can top roll. I've never seen Robbie pull in a hook unless he knew he was that much more stronger than the person he's pulling. I've never seen that before. We all know this bread and butter. He tried it. Not one time did you see Robbie go in against inside with Cody Merritt. Now, one time did you see Robbie go inside with Michael Todd? Does that make sense?
That makes sense to me.
So, again, when you analyze it like that, Paul can go either way, So, like I said, I mean, from a strategic standpoint, I'm picking Passmore.
Agreed. Now then, who do you want to chat about next?
Well, before we get to the last big matches, there's another ladies match. We cannot forget the ladies.
Nancy Nations. Yep, for sure.
Nancy Nations. I know her dearly. I know her personally. She lives in the same state as I do, Oregon. And I'm like going, it'd be stupid of me not to pick her, right? But people need to realize that she's coming off, she hasn't pulled like 2 years. She's coming off shoulder surgery. And, I didn't realize she was even getting back into it until I heard she was pulling Paige Williams. And come on, Williams. I mean, I'm a Williams. Paige is a Williams. What the fuck? Paige is in her backyard.
You are clearly related.
Exactly, right? Paige is in her backyard, right? Arizona. This is her host tournament. She's very powerful. I saw her go down to Michigan State and just fucking grab one of them fucking gorilla statues. I saw her wipe the floor in the women's division. Now, as far, I hate to use the word super heavyweight with the ladies. I don't want to use that because I don't want to get yelled at. But in that division, she has a very good challenge because Nancy, world champion, by the way, national champion, by the way. Now we're talking WAF world champion.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, doesn't matter what senior, master, doesn't matter. You are a WAF champion. Once you win that, they can't take that from you. That alone, experience that. It'll be interesting to see how her shoulder holds up, first and foremost. But I'm going to go with the experience. When you gone to WAF and win a world title or even place top 3, that alone tells you you've been battle tested with some of the best. And for that, I'm picking Nancy to win.
Completely agree with you. It's the world pedigree that does it for me, that kind of tips it in her favor. So,
right,
despite not being around for a couple of years, having surgery, I think coming back hungry, only she knows if she's ready, and I assume she is if she took the match. So,
yeah,
let's go with Nancy on this one.
Brent Rockers, Adam Warzinski. Oh my God. Did you see Brent Rockers just destroy people at Las Vegas? You were there.
I was there. Brent looks like, I haven't seen Brent in a few years. He looks way thicker and stronger now than he did back then. So tough for me to bet against Brent.
Here's the thing, Ryan. And you saw Brent Rockers a couple weekends ago in person. I saw Adam Warzinski last fall in Kansas City and in person, and it was like, wow, just it was like as far as his weight class, it was him and everybody else. And they're almost two of the same, but I think Brent Rockers has more hand control.
And Adam is good, man. Like, he's really good. But
Yeah.
I mean, Brent's been around and he looks better now than he ever has looked, in my opinion.
You do know who he trains with, right?
Who does he train with?
Pablo.
Okay.
And he's pulling John Brzezinski in a super match, by the way. But yeah, he trains with Pablo. It's like, I mean, that's the only time Brent will take second to somebody is because Pablo happens to be there. Training partner. And that's a hard one to pick because they're super good in their own style. It all depends on who can get to their style first, who can get to their spot first.
Yeah. But I mean, we got to pick somebody, so I'll pick Brent.
I'm assuming
not enthusiastic about it.
I'm assuming the match is right-handed preacher. He wants to know.
I would say so. Yeah, I would have to say that.
Yeah. And now, oh yeah, sorry, I'm picking Brent too. Now, this match we're about to talk about, I don't know what match is the main event, but I'm telling you right now, in my opinion, this match is the main event of the card. When you have Corey Miller, when you have Giannis Amelins, wow.
Well, it must be a right-handed match.
Yeah, because I don't see Corey doing a whole lot left. But wow, all I can say is wow. I'm telling you right now, when you have that type of talent, first of all, just to have Coach Ray and Giannis even come to the States and be at this event, and I'm a part of it, it's a treat in itself. And you got Corey Miller, where that guy is super. I mean, we all know for somebody of his stature, I see him put super heavyweight pullers in a real tough spot.
Yeah.
He's so quick of getting that. It's like, oh, damn, it's going to be very interesting to see Giannis in person. Who I pick? My heart says Corey. My brain says Giannis. If that makes any sense.
It makes sense to me. I'm going to say that I think Giannis is going to come in there with, I mean, Corey is, we all know Corey's like lightning.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard. Haven't really seen a lot from him lately. Giannis has been in it for years, nonstop, and he's a multiple WAF world champion. I got to go with Giannis on this one.
Yeah. And again, guys and girls in the chat, we don't, you got to take emotion. When you make these predictions, you got to take emotions out of it. If somebody doesn't pick me to beat Robbie Tope in June, I'm okay with that, But like you said, there's something to be said when you have somebody who's won multiple WAF titles, okay, plural. That says a lot. They're battle tested, I mean, if he's going to lose, Corey can find a spot. But I just think, and Corey's been to Worlds before, but Giannis has won them. I don't think Corey's won a WAF yet, but he's been up there. I want to say he's been top 3 at least at some point, but Giannis has actually won them. So something to be said for that.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's amazing. It's what he's done in the sport. Corey, I don't think quite has achieved. Has he been a WAF champion? I don't think so.
He's gone multiple years, but I don't think he's actually won it though.
Yeah. And Giannis has won it in dominant fashion on several occasions. I think based on that alone, I mean, it's still going to be a match that we're all going to be watching very closely.
Right.
And it's going to be entertaining, but I think Giannis comes out on top. And it's going to look good because Corey is going to get the hit.
Yeah.
He's going to get it. I think Giannis stops him, brings him back, maybe bleeds him a little bit. It's going to be an entertaining match, but Giannis comes out on top.
I think Corey won the first match, though. I will say that because, you can prepare for a hit all you want to. You don't know until it happens. And once it does happen, it's like, okay, now I know how hard he hits. Now I can put myself in a position where I can kind of at least counter or stop that.
Yeah. And of course, you can watch all that by going over to Alex Toprule's channel.
Yes. And by the way, for people attending that event, the tournament will be at one venue and the Supermatches will be at a different venue. So keep that in mind.
And they have like it's a $50, they called it like a pay-per-view, but it's not like that. It's like a $50 entry fee and you get drinks and food paid for and all that stuff. Like it looks pretty good. Yeah, all inclusive. So
I will not be drinking because I will be talking and I don't want to be slurring my language. But
you can start in the last match.
Yes, but I'll tell you what, though, if they got some chicken fingers, then rest assured your boy's going to be feasting on that. So,
Well, Jody, that wraps it up for today, my man. I gotta run. I got some stuff I gotta take care of, but we got big matches Saturday, and I can't wait to talk about them all on Monday.
Yes, I like that. I enjoyed it. Everyone in the live chat, thank you very much. Once again, is it me or are we growing?
We're growing.
We're growing because, like I said before, I think because of the fact that we're on Monday mornings, we're not in competition with anybody. So there you go.
We got some of these comments don't make sense to me, but anyway, they're good.
Yes, Billy Berg, one of these days you and I are gonna have to get on the table. Yes. Yeah, we're gonna have to figure something out.
We'll figure it out.
I'll have to get a passport and figure out what Billy Berg wants with the left hand over here. So
yeah. All right, buddy. We'll see you in a week.
Yeah, because we're gonna have lots to talk about next week.
We will.
Results and everything. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us in the chat. Appreciate that.
So long, everybody.
Take care.